So rather than support resistance like a line like that, they'll mark it in zone. So not like a line like that, but they will mark it in as a zone like this. You know, you see, so that is their support and resistances. So when you look around, you see here to here, something like another zone is here. Right. And then where else? Program is connected. You know, so we are going to use GU to just give you an idea what is expected eventually, or what one is expected to be able to do when they've gone through the course. Do you understand? So let me just come off this. Let me close this. Array. Okay, now, the first thing you have to do when you want to mark your chart is to go onto the monthly time frame. Right. So when you go onto the monthly time frame, you should have a clean chart. And then when you're in the monthly time frame, you want the line graph. Okay. Now, when you're in the line graph, we are looking for something we call situation. What is a situation? A situation is on the line graph in the monthly, you want a place or a support, or a line where we've had the what? So white. A line where we've had price on the line graph, because if you put the normal candlestick graph, you wouldn't see it clearly. But you want a place where price has touched from below, at the same time price has touched from above, something like this one and that one, or something like this one and that one. So I'm going to highlight those areas I'm using. So that one and something like this one. It's called a situation. Do you understand? But you want two situations, so which means technically it will be two lines. But with the two situations, you want something that between one situation and the other, it is not less than 500 pips, but it is not more than 1,000 pips. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So your situation, the one situation and the other should not be more than what? 1,000 pips.
Yeah.
You understand? So imagine we can have one other situation here, option H. So that's one and that's another one here. But for this two lines to qualify as what we call the foundation is two situations, but the situations should not be less than 500. Neither should it be more than 1,000. It should be between 500 and 1,000. So what would we do? We have to measure, like how we used to do psychological levels. So when you measure this, do you see the distance?
Yeah, 953.
900 and something. That is very perfect situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in that regard, you've got a perfect foundation. Now you can see that between these two situations, there's a bang line in the middle. Do you understand? You can see the line in the middle, can you?
Yeah.
Which divides this thing perfectly. This line in the middle, we have to put another line there, but that would be a dotted line. Okay, so it will be a dotted line like that. Okay, this dotted line, we'll call it weekly. This thick lines, we call them what? Monthly. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
We can label these ones as text. I'm showing you this like how the assignment would work, but I would take them all out eventually. When you get there, you would see. So this is this is monthly. Clone this. This is monthly. And then you come to the left. Clone this. And then that will be what? Weekly. So weekly, where's weekly? Yeah, there. And I've created templates already, so I can change it easily. You know what I mean? How do you create the templates? So for example, imagine you want to use any text at all. So you go to the text tool, you know where to find the text. You can find, I think, text is somewhere there, this text tool. You know, so you can either pick it as in text, and it comes to be part of your menu here. You click on it, you click on the screen, and it says text. So let's say we want to write anything and save that thing that always, like for example, yeah, let's say buy. Buy is above. I remember this guy used to use that a lot. Eric. Buy is above. So you text it and then you go to template and then you save as and call it what buys above. So save it. Okay. Okay. So this is buys above. Imagine next time you are on another page and you want to get buys above real quick. You go straight to text, put the text there, come to the template, and you see your buys above. Boom. When you click, it changes exactly into buys above. Does that make sense, guys? I'm just
Yeah.
when it's trading view strategy. I'm just only teaching you that.
Yeah.
Now, imagine you want to delete this buys above from there completely. You just go here. When you go into text, and then you delete, ask you, do you want to delete? Yes, you delete it. Simple. You understand? So now this is text. Delete text. So this is what I'm showing you so that when you guys are doing your assignment, you can have it saved as templates already and then use them. So now the other thing that we have to do is where we created our situation for the assignment's sake, you need to highlight the levels you use to create your situation. So this is one, this is another. And this is the only challenge with this assignment. Being able to find a situation, two situations, which is between the range of 1,000 pips. Now, assuming you are creating the situations or the foundations, which is two situations on indices or commodities. For example, you are creating it on gold. Rather than this thing being 500 to 1,000 pips, it would convert to what? 5,000 to 10,000. Do you guys understand that? Because
Yeah.
with the readings on something like US 30, the distance is calculated times 10. Do you understand? So for example, let me bring this up nicely. And this, for example, is US 30. So for US 30, imagine this is situations we've created. I've created that already anyway. So imagine this is the situation we've created from here to here. You see it is 6,281.
Yeah.
Can you guys see it? Godwin, can you see it? I think Godwin is having problems with his internet. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm
Yeah,
here.
so this 62,000, this thing, it is actually 628, which means it qualifies. It is bigger than 500. So with indices, with commodities like oil, it's the same thing. And then with gold. So you should understand the differences. So that's why I've got commodities / indices. That one, it is the distance is multiplied by 10. And you want something greater than 500, but less than 1,000. So look at this one. This is oil. And you can see 6,930. Do you understand? So in this regard, we are looking up anything between 5,000 and then 10,000. Let's go back to GU. Do you understand? So in that case, imagine you were doing GJ. PKN, can you answer that? How many pips are we looking at?
500 to 1,000.
500 to 1,000. So all the currencies would have the same thing. All right. So now we've created the situations, and then we've created the intermediate line, which is weekly. The situation, the first line, we call it monthly. The second one, monthly. And then the middle line is weekly. Now, the next step from here is we are going to replicate this distance, the distance between here and here at the top, and then the distance between here, the same distance below and below. Does it make sense? So what we are going to do is we just only would clone it. Clone, let it go up. Clone again. clone again, and then let that go up. Right. And then we clone it down. Clone, let it come down. We'll put the measurements on it in a second. Clone again, let it come down. Is that okay? Oh, God. Okay, so there they are. So this line is also another monthly. This line is another monthly. Let's measure the distance. And we know exactly what the distance should be. So let's measure the distance. Let's align these things exactly to the distance. Okay.
Yeah.
So this assignment, me, I dey expect submission before we migrate to the new group. So
Then
clone
like
it.
I get
Yeah.
them already.
Is it?
I shall say I get them.
So you
So
clone
the
it.
pairs you get for that way we for do for top, eh?
No, we'll talk about pairs later. Don't worry.
Okay.
But G, you go be part of it anyway. So, but so when you've cloned it and you measure the distance between this and that, then you put the line, the dotted line between it. And then what name would you call the dotted line? It is the weekly based on the assignment. And then the thick line, you call it what? Monthly. Let's move to the next one up. You measure the distance, align it nicely. You clone the weekly, push it up. Does it make sense? And then you call the middle line weekly. And then you call the upper line monthly. Does it make sense? That's all the assignment. Now we're coming to the bottom here. This to that. Okay. Clone it. Yeah. And then put the middle line, clone this. Nicely. Let's come to the last one. So once we've cloned this will call it weekly. Okay. And then this is monthly, which is fine. Now the last one technically. And then once you form one situation, if price goes beyond them, you just repeat. You just replicate them above. So, yeah. So you guys, when you didn't hear of me, nobody was even minding me, especially PKN. PKN is the one who broke my heart the most. Okay. All right. So is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
So once you've done this, that is the way the assignment should look. After that, I'll take things off it for trading purposes. So when you've done this, look, go to this place. You see where the camera is. And then copy this as a link. Okay. So when you copy it as a link, you then will come. I will send the templates out to you guys. And this template is for the foundation assignment. So where's Jessica Lane? Yeah. So the foundation assignment, that is when you guys are ready to do that, then you do it, because I want you to go through the training first. So this one is for GU. You understand? So for GU, you come and then you paste it here, and that's the link, right? So that is the assignment. So once you've done this, when you open it, it opens as a link. Boom. So this is your assignment. And then when you submit it, we will all review it and see that you've done it well, and we'll measure and everything fine. Because you see, this one is the measure. It tells us exactly how much the distance. It tells you this is the first situation, this is the second situation, this is the weeklies, and these are the monthlies. Simple as that. Very basic stuff. But you will save this as a Word, or you save it somewhere that you can submit it. And then when you submit it, we can all review. Do you understand? So that when we click on the link, when you submit it to me and I click on the link, it will open in the browser. When it opens the browser, we can review it. Do you understand? So for those of you who are now watching the videos, I think it is individually up to you guys when you start your stuff. and when you get ready. I'm not going to put pressure on anybody. Just that once you've done it, we'll start migrating. When you finish all the assignment, then we migrate you to our new crypto group, our new trading group. You know what I mean? So that is it for the foundation. Now I'm going to proceed from here. I'm just going to take the Texas. Okay. What I'm going to do is let me save this as a folder. So let me save this all as a folder. Now hide some things. Okay. And I'll call it foundation. Foundation. Okay. So this is foundation. Look, go in. Go in. Go in. So when I go into foundation, there are some things I want to hide. I want to hide the circles, text, the circles and the text. That's all I want to hide. Okay. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. So now my thing is clean. Let me also hide this other one. Yeah. Okay. So where's my circle? Hide this, hide this. So now you see this, my chart is clear now. Now I'm going back. I'm continuing. I'm going back to what we call the normal candlestick mode. You understand? So imagine that I wasn't using the line graph and I was using the candlestick. There's no way I could find situations and trade that thing with it. Do you understand? So that is how it will look. Now, the question that people would ask is, so imagine price goes beyond this thing. What would you do? You have to just replicate it. Do you understand? And then when you are also trying to find the foundations, you should find it somewhere around where price action is, or somewhere in the middle, whereby when you are extending it, it will cover where price action is at present. Does it make sense? Now,
Yeah.
let's come down to here. So when you are here, what would you do next? That's the next question. The next question is simple. When you are here, you normally will want to find something like a trend line. Okay. The trend line, with each time frame, we have a color code for it. You understand? The lady has some color codes. I use that same idea of the color codes, but I twisted it slightly bit. So when you find yourself in the monthly, you can see a trend line. Can't you guys see it? Trend line. There's a trend line. You can connect it all the way from the top here. So we can connect this trend line all the way from the top. Right. So what can you see? So price was in the downtrend. It broke the trend line and broke it back down. And now it seems to be breaking the trend line again. Do you understand? So this is the monthly. Does it make sense? So now when you have this monthly, let's just say this is monthly. So I put both the monthly and the weekly in the same folder. So this is month and week. WMW, right? So now this is the only trend line I can find on the monthly. Then I'll come to the weekly, okay? When you come to the weekly, what can we see? Possibly we can see something different. Do you understand? So normally when I see that the lines, the monthly and the weekly is conflicting, I just can eliminate one trend and then keep the other one. So what I'm going to do is I can join this one, which is it's not conflicting. So in the weekly, it's still yellow, but I leave it as what? Dash lines. Okay. And I want us to adopt a theme so that when someone is looking at someone else's this thing, you can clearly see what's happening. So this one is the weekly. Do you understand? So now from there, is there any trends to join in the weekly? There's nothing that we can see. So we come to what? The daily. Do you understand? When you come to the daily, there's already, let me just take this daily, let me hide daily. The daily, you can clearly see that we have a trend from here going up. We have a trend from there coming down, right? So the daily normally is a red line. Or let's put it on top here, then it wouldn't conflict with anything. Daily. And then we have another line coming from there. So you can see something happening on the daily. PK, what can you see happening on the daily? On this trend line.
So it's
1, 2,
to third touch.
that
So
touch is happening
could
on the daily. Could bounce up
bounce up or
based
come
on the
down.
day, but because it's a daily, it would take a long time to do that. So, but I'm just saying, if you could see that, you understand. So this one will go into the daily folder. You understand? One of the things they do on these dailies, and they see if there are levels to market, but I don't even concentrate on those ones so much, because with time you realize that you picked all those things in the lower time frames. So this is daily. Oh, okay. Now from daily, all right. So what I'll do is let me show you guys when I'm in the folder, foundation folder. You want the foundation to show on all time frames, so it's visible on all the time frames. Come in. Yeah. It's visible on all the time frames. That's foundation. Monthly and weekly also visible on all the time frames, which is clear. Daily should only be visible from the daily time frame. So it's visible only on daily time frames down. Do you understand? And then we come to the 4 hour. Now, there will be a change when it comes to the 4 hour. But let's say we are looking at the 4 hour, right? Because when you started this, you realize that you have to make a choice between what we call a major structure and then a minor structure. And the major structure can either be the 4 hour or the 1 hour. Do you understand? And if you choose the 4 hour as your major structure, then your minor structure is going to be the 30 minutes. If you choose the 1 hour as your major structure, then your minor structure is going to be the 15 minutes. So normally what I have discovered is that you can choose between either the major structure 4 hour or major structure 1 hour. I normally use the 1 hour, but for argument's sake and for the way the course was presented, let's go to the 4 hour and see if there's a trend line there. In the 4 hour, you can see clearly there's a trend line here. We can connect these trend lines. You understand? So let's say we are connecting, and you realize that when we go to the 1 hour, it is likely that it will conflict. The 4 hour, the color that we normally use in the 4 hour is green. Do you understand? Is there any other thing in the 4 hour that we can see? Possibly we have some type of levels here. It looks like there is a
Tano.
yeah.
When you're no.
We
45.
45
Okay.
altogether.
Alright, okay.
So
Alright,
PKN is on. PKN, have you met Boniface before?
Yeah, PKN. That's in Kuma, right?
In
Yeah.
Nkrumah, in Nkrumah,
Yeah.
In Kuma,
And then
okay. So
Felix
we
Lewis.
met before.
And then by
And
Godwin,
Almighty
don't meet
Felix.
Godwin. Okawa Godwin. Wakele
Godwin,
ake na ken bank e. Okawa bank beno afi na kon ID ko na ken bank we. Ni na ken
Yeah, na guy no work like Echo Bakele.
Eco bank e. Godwin,
Yeah.
Okay.
do you remember my
The
boss?
guy who was in crypto.
Crypto, yeah, exactly. And I told you.
Yes, yes, sir.
Godwin has it.
So I'm good, sir.
And then even here, you can see something like you see this one. Yeah, so there's some kind of support and resistances here, which is zones. So normally this will be what we'll mark in the 4 hour, but I believe that when we go into the 1 hour, we'll see the same thing. That's why I'm saying that you can choose between the 4 hour and 30 minutes or the 1 hour and 15 minutes. So let's say this is 4 hour. If we go into the 1 hour and I see the same thing, then it means that I would choose the 1 hour because that's what I've chosen to do my trade. So for HR. All right. So that's fine. So let's move from here. Visibility, we want this visibility below, not in the daily, but in the hours. in the hours. Okay, so it's fine. Let's go to 1 hour. You see, it's exactly the same thing in the 1 hour. If you look at it very carefully, top. So when you choose 4 hour, you don't have to choose 1 hour, but I'm going to settle in the 1 hour because that is where I normally would do my trades. See, so I will just connect this lines, or I can, you see, if you even look at it very carefully, if you say you're connecting, let's say this line, let's say that line, you see, it's almost the same as the daily. Doesn't make sense, guys. So the
Yeah.
daily is taking care of that, this thing, trend line. So I'm going to change this color. The 4 hour is green. I'm using the 1 hour instead. So this one, I'm changing it to blue. 1 hour is blue. Okay. And then this levels, I'm going into my template. I have 1 hour zones already. So select it. Just the same way that I did the other one. You save it that way. You draw your zones, go into template and save it. But I would be doing that again and again with you guys, and you would understand. So these are the levels that we have right now. Okay. Now, what we are doing now is from here, you see, just the same way I told you guys that if you choose 4 hour, then your minor structure will be 30 minutes. If you choose 1 hour, then your minor structure is going to be 15 minutes. But because I've chosen 1 hour, I won't go to the 30 minutes. I'll go where? The 15 minutes straight away. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
So now I'll go to 15 minutes. So when I go to 15 minutes, the question is, what do I see in the 15 minutes? You can clearly see a trend line. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, in the 15 minutes trend line, I don't use the extended trend lines. I'd use the normal short trend lines, this one. Boom. And then you can see that we've gone up here. There's also another trend line that was coming down from here. Even this one is a huge trend line that was coming down. You could use this one. This one is very big. So I think this one could have even passed for a 1 hour trend line. So let's go to the one because of the size of it, because huge. Let's go to the 1 hour and see what we see. You see, this one is more like a 1 hour one because of
Yeah.
size of it. So we can change it and extend it, change the color to blue. And then when he come extend right, boom, then he extends. So this one becomes a 1 hour trend line. So we'll move it into the, oh, we've not created a 1 hour. So this, where's my 1 hour? I don't have 1 hour. So this is, oh, sorry. I know what I've done. Let's escape this. It was in the 4 hour. So let's move it. And then change the 4 hour to 1 hour because I'm not using what 1 hour. Okay. And then let's eliminate this. So when you come to the 1 hour, what you want to see is you don't want to see it beyond the hours. So it looks tidy when you go onto the higher time frames. So okay. So now come to 15 minutes. Where is that thing? Wow. Visibility. 5:59. 1. Whatever. I thought I had a trend line here. Did I lose it? Oh, that's the one. Oh, I see. Made a mistake. Let's go back. Let me just go and find another line. Back to the 1 hour. So if I'm in the 1 hour, I'll connect it all the way from the top. Does it make sense, guys? Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 HR. Okay. Boom. So now I can move from 1 HR. Let me tidy up and I'll make sure everything is clean. Yes, clean. Let me tidy up. Come to the 15 minutes. You see? So you see what is happening here. You can see something we call a break and a retest here. This line would have been connected a long time ago. So when you come here, you break, you retest, you trade this one. Do you understand? Where should it be going if you are retesting? We have a fib But we are not at those stages yet anyway. But I'll show you what we'll normally be looking for. We have a fib. This fib is the wick is deceptive. So possibly if it hits here, you can see something that he respected. He actually respected 0.5. So we'll come straight away to this. So this break retest, it gave us a bullish signal. You might not even see it clearly, but when we go 5 minutes, you see it very carefully. But I'm just only using this trend line to tell you what was happening. We broke the trend line, retested, boom, we are trading up. Where would we take our profit? When we go 5 minutes, you see those things. Okay, fine. So really speaking, this is basically the marking of the charts. This is basically it. If you look here very carefully, before we moved up, there's clearly a trend line here. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
The trend line here. We broke the trend line and then we came to retest the trend line again. But the trend line was retested also on the support. So this is a clear trade you can go in, which means that this one, we call it a reversal. How would you know if there's a reversal? Very clearly. When you guys do the course, I'm not going to tell you much. When you guys do the course, you see it. Leg, we retested on this, so we came to the minus 22.7. And when we went to the minus 22.7, because we retested anything below the 50 and below, we'll end up minus 22.7. And then we start a reversal. So the reversal started all the way. But we'll only go into the trade when we break this trend line, retest on the trend line, we end the trade. You understand? Where would we come off? We'll come off on this trend line. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come off on this trend line. When we come off on this trend line, we broke the trend line, retested the trend line. We are going up again. Where would we take our profit? This was a mad week, which means these are things I'm learning. Normally, if I'm pulling fib, I will pull my fib. Let's go 5 minutes and see how clear it looks. You see, hey, I think it's even better here. If I'm pulling my fib, normally the fib will go to the top. But this one, it looks like a news. So it was quite deceptive anyway. But anyway, anyhow, if we took that trade, it would still go. So fib to fib, you see, because of this week, you are literally speaking, and this will be very deceptive. Literally speaking, you see this green and this red, it was a week. It was a week in the 15 minutes. If you look at it very carefully, you see that week.
Yeah.
In the 15 minutes. So this is the body. And these are things we need to develop as we go along. We came and retested on the 50. So if we don't go anywhere, we'll go straight to the minus this thing 217, minus 27. And this things you learn it when it comes to the fibs. I'll teach you. What I want you guys to take from this is how to be able to mark the foundations. Does it make sense? So now, where we are right now, where are we going to go? PK, you go for explain where we are going to go. Because I can see it.
So currently, it looks like we'll test the daily trend
Test
line.
this one, the daily, this one, and then we'll
Trend
get
line,
the counter trend line. Boom, then
counter
we're going
trend
all
line.
the way to the
Break
top.
all the way to the
To the top.
the
So if you
resistance
want
at
to
the
use
top.
this candlestick thing, no, we can pick it up from. We can pick it up from something like from here. I'm coming this something like from there all the way to there, and then we'll bring it down here. Something like this, and then extend.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah.
Do you understand?
Mm.
Do you get it, guys? So maybe you might not understand this thing, but that's fine. Because we can also come and respect the tops here and then come down before we break through to the top. It's as simple. So this is the move we are expecting to happen this week. Not even this week. Let's say the immediate few days to come. This is the play we are expecting to happen on view. You know what I mean? So you see how easy it is, Bonifato.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, you didn't understand. You didn't follow the thing we do.
Yeah, they follow.
You see how easy this thing be. You know what I
So it
mean?
means say if we can't
Even here, let me explain something to you guys.
sometimes where we go enter.
Make I even tell you something. We have two options. Even here, if we are coming to respect it, you can trade this thing to the bottom. If you go to the 15 minutes, you can literally trade this thing. If this is a clear real break, You know what I mean? Let's find a proper break and retest. Yeah, you can't say if it's a clear real break. If it's the come
Then you
down
should move the trend line a bit slightly up.
slightly up. So
Uh-huh.
here, because we've broken the trend line, we're coming to retest. How would you even trade this? Put another trend line here. Clean small trend line.
Why are you moving that? The trend line, where are the 2 points?
The 2 points literally
The
was
one down
like
there.
for the
so
week,
from
but we
bottom,
put on for the
1,
body.
2.
Just say because we had a clear break here, no.
Mhm.
But this clear break, you're not going to make your decision with it per se. Let it break this small counter trend line here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let it break it clearly, let it retest, and then you're in. So we can trade this to the bottom,
Downwards.
coming towards these ones. Very small trade.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. Maybe how many pips? Oh, go to reset. It'll be about 24 pips only. So if you like, you go trade. If you not like, you just go dog. Then after you come to this bottom, now you're waiting for a break and a retest on this major line. Some like from here. You want a break and a retest, and it will take you up, which is the main trade. How would you know how far this thing would go? Pull your fib from here. You understand?
Downwards.
Which means this area will come test beyond. Where are we going? We are going to the minus 618. Why? Because we tested, we might test below the 50. And then we'll go to the minus 618. So if we catch here, you can even pick the trade here if you get bullish presence all the way to the minus 618. You see the minus 618, they almost align to the tops. Do you understand? So this will be then trade. Something like from here. Let me reset to default. By default. Something like all the way from here to there. Maybe how many pips? This 85 pips, technically. Does it make sense? So this could be a cool trade. So when we catch here, we will see that there should be a reversal. Do you understand? Or something like a retracement. You see and you trade it. Where would you trade it to? Let's see if we can get some level on maybe you trade it back to either these levels, that is something like these levels, or you can trade it back to these levels before it will break up. Do you understand? But this is the immediate thing we are looking at. So that is what we need to wait for it to play. So you can either trade it down here and then look for the presence and trade it up. And then when it goes up there, you are looking for an exhaustion. Why? Because the 618 is a reversal. Do you understand? And it will reverse maybe down to those levels, or even maybe if there's I don't know where trend line there's no trend line. Maybe there could be a trend line. Fine. We have the daily. You go feel reverse back to the daily in area before it will continue. Do you understand? It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, that's fine. So this is how simple this strategy looks like. You don't struggle when it's there. And we are looking at various so now let me explain this thing to you guys then. So what happens is when I'm in there, so this is 15 minutes. All the yellow lines I think are 15 minutes. No. Technically, 15 minutes, I use purple line. So, but technically this one, it should go in my 5 minutes. The yellow lines, because those are the immediate moves that I make. And let's go and find something on the 15 minutes. So let me go into 5 minutes. You see, so these are like the immediate things that I'm expecting on the 5. Even that one is too even big. So let's say if this is big, we put it in the 15th. And then we change the color. Change the color to purple. Change the color to purple. Oh, where's my purple? Oh, listen. I'm strong. Change the color to purple. And then, so this is like a huge line. So 15 minutes. So we will break, retest, boom, and then we are in. we come in, we've broken all the way, so you're going to retest all the way. So if you're in the 5 minutes, you see like the distances. So here we can trade all the way this to the bottom. It can be retest on this one, boom, to the top.
Mm.
So this small line could be my 5 minutes line. So where's my 5 minutes? Boom. And then these are the shorts and stuff. All I put them into the 5 minutes fib. Bam, bam, bam. But you guys can get the drift. Oh, 5 minutes. So this one, where is this?
I beg you go the 15 minutes. I make a check something for the 15 minutes. Okay. In that. I think I have seen the fib. I was looking for the fib now.
The fib, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's perfect like that. You see, but for accountability's sake, let's do the assignments because of accountability, so that we know that everybody is up to speed. Because make I tell you guys, over the years, it's been almost a year since we've been doing this, and I feel so much for PK and even PK and those guys who were with me when we started. We've been struggling because it's not like I'm profitable already trading and I'm teaching people anything. I was trying to learn and I was just sharing what I was learning with people. So the frustration was there, and I would have understood if people fell off naturally. You know what I mean? Naturally, that Charlie, this thing, they work. So then we'll find them our own way. It's okay. Do you understand? However, where we are right now, I could see the directions very clearly. And I can tell you guys that this is the thing I'm giving it my last. This is my strategy. If the strategy doesn't work, I'm not going to buy any training anymore. You see, so the thing too is I'm not going to more or less like put in that energy that I had, because back in the day, the energy I put in, I thought we'll get a strategy and trade with it. But this one, you guys, I believe we've got the grill. So you guys will be the ones pushing me. Do you understand me? You guys will be the one pushing. For example, when we look at gold last week, all these calls, we had them. Do you understand? Look this clear break from here. We retested the level, boom. Look at how far this trade went. Very far. And how would you have picked it? Pick it all the way from the top. This is the Fibonacci, all the way from the top to the bottom here. And then it will retest somewhere there. And it will come and give you some like 27 for here. So you could have caught the straight all the way, at least to the 27. But eventually it came to the minus 618. When it came to 618, what do we expect? A reversal. But these things we'll teach you again and again. Once you watch the video, you would understand it. You know what I mean? And then 618 is the reversal. When we saw this thing, we have a break, retest. We are back in the trade. This one, you'll be in it when you're sleeping. Where are you taking your profit? You see the trend line, boom. You take your profit here. But when you took your profit, it's broken a trend line again. And then once it's break a trend line, you're coming to retest the trend line. Is another trade. Now you finish retesting the trend line. Another goes to the top, retraces somewhere around the market, 618. So you are going to take it at 618. Boom. This is another trade. It's so brilliant that there's no excuse anymore. It now depends on you guys. If you have a problem, please call me. Don't wait for us to have a session. You know what I mean? Don't wait for us to have a session before how we call it. I show you what you have to do. I want everybody to be up to speed, because what we're doing is now, like you see this evening, this Sunday night call, I'll be going on another call personally at somewhere like 1 a.m. And let me show you where I'll go on the call. It's on this YouTube. It's called Jessica Lane. Jessica Lane. Where is it? Yeah. So there's the YouTube. I'll send it. I'll put it in the group. You know, so she would have something like live calls, right? So live calls, a live call. This was the one we were on it last week. I was on it at midnight, and then there was a call immediately. So you know what I mean? So I traded it. I traded it last. When was it? It was Monday morning. It was Monday morning. So this is Friday. When was it? 15 May. What's today? Today's the 21st, yeah?
Yeah.
So this is
6 days back.
Monday,
So Monday.
this Monday. Oh, what's that? Let me see, because we took a call. So this is Friday, this is Thursday, this is Wednesday, this Tuesday. So it's just this one. Yeah, so it was, I think it was a straight. Oh, this Friday, so it couldn't have been. There was a trade. Oh, go.
15th was Monday.
There was a trade. It was in the midnight. I think it was this one.
It was Sunday night into
It
Monday,
was
yeah.
1 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
This is the trade. I believe this wasn't the trade, this one. So when you look at this very carefully, I took that trade and it was very juicy. So this was the trade. You see, so what are we seeing? The guy
Yeah, the
saw
break of
something
the
like this, right? He saw something, just joined the two. There was a break, or there was some kind of break and then a retest. It was in the trade there. Do you guys see it? So this trend line then has not come yet, but it was just this break and a retest, and it was in the trade. And where were we expecting? We were expecting to come all the way somewhere to the trend line here or something, you know, but he pulled, I think, a fib, either somewhere. I don't remember where he pulled the fib. He pulled a fib, but there was a resistance or some level somewhere. And then, so I took my trade from here. Let's go 5 minutes. Yeah. I took my trade from here. And then we were aiming to come all the way to the top here, I believe. When we got here, I took my first money because my psychological level told me there's something to take. Took it. Yeah. I took it here. This is about almost like 92 pips. And then it's sideways for a long time. So I said, okay, fine. If you're sideways for a long time, it came down here. And that's okay. When it breaks this level, you know, our box. I used the box theory. When he broke the box, I was in it again, and I took it to the top, just to the stop. So I did 2 trades that midnight till the morning. You know what I mean? So to like 6:45. One was 33 pips. One was about 80 pips. You see, and that is how juicy this thing was. So when I did that immediately, I was almost like up like 3% or 3.5% just on these trades. Before this thing came down, those times I was still learning, because this very past week, I've really been able to go over the trainings again and again, and the pictures are getting clearer, you know. So that is that, guys. I'm going to stop recording. And then if you guys have any questions, we just